No.
Hello, everybody. What was the name of the show? Zero Interest is the thing we're doing right now. Fuck, the camera's spazzing out and going blah 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 blah. Kaiji, we're back. It is no longer Monday, so Zero is no longer blinded by the lights. So, you know,
It's the stupid things that make us men.
yeah, he's a bright spark, and like all bright sparks, they're compelled to they're just drawn to other bright sparks, like the sun.
Okay. Anyways,
So, Kaiji episode 2. Um, so, yeah, I remembered something last episode that we recorded, and it came up this episode. Go figure. Go ahead, Zero.
so we are we're reintroduced to the situation. They have to open package B now to get their stars, and they put them on this little plate on their chest. And so every time you know play with your cards, you bet a star. If you get a draw, you just keep your star. If you win, you take the other person's star. You need 3 stars at least to be able to walk out of this boat alive.
You can
Intact.
keep going. Like, if you run out of cards, you can stay in the game because there are ways to get more cards. There are ways to get more stars. If you run out of stars completely, if you have no stars, you are out. There is no coming back from that.
You have nothing else to bet.
Yeah, that is basically the only complete failure condition.
So, I mentioned this while we were watching this episode, but it reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole Pegasus Island thing, where you had to get 5 stars so you could go and you could get a match with Pegasus, and like it's a very interesting concept of you need to maintain a certain amount of stars rather than just like money or something. It's something in a smaller amount and also physical that you have to like keep on you, and it's easy indication of what state the person you're going up against is in and what state the characters are in.
So you don't really want to go up against someone that has a lot of stars because they probably know how to win and they have a strategy or a manipulation in place so that they're more likely to win. You want to go, go for the easy pickings.
And if you have 1 star, that makes you a target for everyone, essentially.
A target for the ruthless, I suppose. There is a moral compunction that is probably in the early rounds where people are like, I don't really want to take this guy's last star and damn him to a fate of years of manual labor, forced manual labor. But yeah, that would go away as time goes on. I feel like.
So, to get back into the summary, we have Funai, the guy who also borrowed 10 million before. He's there, and he says, he speaks up to Kaiji. He's like, "Hey, you know, there is a way we can make this go from 50% chance to 100% chance, and you need a good partner. Because I've been through this before. I see a few familiar faces here. You know what you really need to get is you need to get yourself a good partner, and we just play our cards, draw.
Yep, we agreed beforehand what cards we're going to play, so we draw every single time.
And there we go. Also, at the end, you can sell extra stars to the unfortunate for about 1 million, so that can help cover your costs.
Like I think he says a couple million, but it can be more than that because, if memory serves, by the end they give you time to use the money that you borrowed at the beginning of the game to buy stars to make up 3 if you don't have 3.
Yeah.
But then it's a seller's market for stars, so you can get a lot more than 2 million. So.
Yeah. So that's basically kind of where they're at. So like I'm watching this guy and I'm thinking, well, yeah, there is 100% way, and that's by fooling somebody into thinking there's 100% way and
Hmm.
taking all their stars after tricking them and taking their cards to their left. Like,
He even says that during his explanation. Like, look over there, see those guys that are just drawing over there? Yeah, that's a scam, and you've got to watch out for people like that. Not me though. Not me. I'm not one of
yeah,
those.
yeah, no, like once you like think about the show and you think everyone is pretty much lying, you kind of like get used to that sort of like it's easy to fall into that like yeah he's scamming
Mm.
scamming, and some of them are more obvious than others. So yeah, Kaiji gets scammed and left with 1 star and no cards.
Yeah,
Or one
one
card.
star and one card
Yeah, 1 card.
because they do 9 rounds, and then the 10th one, Funai obviously, you know, double crosses him and plays a winning card, and he's like, "Oh no, what did I do? Oh, what a cruel and twisted fate this is. I'll just have to make it up on the next one, and we'll just, balance it out. I have to take his start now, obviously, because that's, how the game works, and there's the guy right here who's, like, gonna,
Yeah.
enforce the rules. But, next round, I'll play this card, and I think it's Rock,
Hmm.
and says, I'll play this card, and shows him, and then turns it over. So when they do the whole game, he's actually slipped another card behind it.
And yeah, he goes
Yep.
and switches. And he's like, yeah, I spent so long practicing this technique. And Kaiji gets upset by this. He goes to try to attack the guy and is restrained. It's like, you don't, like, this is a war zone. You don't see soldiers crying when they get shot in the back.
Mm.
And I said, yeah, some soldiers do get cry when they get shot in the back, but I
Mm.
think they're going forwards. They usually fire back.
Yeah.
Um,
There is a moment with Funai where he is just, for a Japanese person, incredibly vulgar. Like, practically spitting off to the side every 3 seconds and swearing like a sailor.
甘ったれが俺はおんどりを取って食うだただそれだけやクソが騒ぐなゴミ虫
yeah.
So that was interesting and is
Well,
probably the true colors moment for that particular
yeah.
character.
Like when it's said they're the scum of society, it means they're the scum of society.
Yeah.
Uh, so this leaves Kaiji to kind of recollect himself and think, I let somebody else decide my fate for me because I couldn't think for myself. I didn't make my own decisions, and now that I really think about it, that's how my whole life has been. Is I've
Mm.
never been able to really think for myself and make my own decisions and be proactive as a person, just reactive, I guess.
Funnily
Well,
enough, that's actually largely Japanese culture, and that's how you're expected to do. But kind of goes against that screen in this show for a little bit. That's interesting.
it's interesting because a good character is one that tends to be more proactive than just reactive,
Mm.
in my opinion. And he realizes that if he wants his life to improve, he has to take it into his own hands and not let other people tell him what he has to do. He has to kind of be in charge of his own ship.
Hmm.
And
Because they're on the ship. It's funny.
yeah. So he sees Furuhara, the guy who he was supposed to be the guarantor for, is also on this boat.
Remember when I said I couldn't remember what season he was in?
Gosh darn it.
Literally the next episode is great. Yeah, I remembered he was totally in this season and he was on the ship. While
But
we were
like
recording last episode.
if he's on the ship, why does Kaiji need to be there?
Because Furuhata's there for something entirely different, one assumes.
Gosh.
Like maybe it wasn't the only loan.
Just throw Furuhara even harder under the bus and say, he's here! He's taking that!
Yeah. Or maybe they're scamming both of them because, the guys running this aren't exactly the most upstanding.
Yeah, I know they're
types.
scamming both of them, but like, so he sees Furuhara goes into the break room, and he follows him into the break room, and it's a big pit of despair, where people who just have like 1 or 2 stars but no cards,
Or just like
or like,
almost no stars, almost no cards. They're in the worst possible position, and their failure is imminent. And
So Furuhara goes and Kaiji goes to Furuhara, who's in the corner, and Furuhara sees him. He's like, "Oh, Kaiji, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to drag you into all of this." And Kaiji's like, "You have 4 cards and a star. Come on, we can do something. We can do something."
Yeah, he drags him out of the break room. Well, the bathroom. Let's be honest, it's a toilet.
Yeah.
And says, "Don't stay in there. You'll just rot." I mean, I was in the same position as you like a few minutes ago, so I can't really judge. But it's a bad scene in there. You don't want to stay in there.
It's a bad mental place to be because you're giving up on any possibility of winning, and you still have like 4 cards. So we need to wait. Is there anybody in there who has 2 stars and no cards? So they go back over. They find a guy. I can't remember what his name was. Hondo. Hondo. And they bring him out, and now they're like,
Heroes really let himself go.
Yeah, yeah. They're on like group of like we gotta win like 9 stars with 4 cards. We can do this.
5 cards actually, because they still have Kaijis. They have 1.
Oh yeah,
I think it's 1 paper and 4 scissors. So, not the best position and card spread that they have, but it's something.
Well, assuming they fight, if they're to go against 5 different opponents, they could still pull off a bluff and still do it. But if you just use scissors every time and then paper, you can mentally like mess with somebody. Like there are possibilities they can get out of this, but the problem is they're gonna have to bet. I'm guessing they're gonna like say, okay, I'm gonna throw like 5 million on top of this. If you throw on some extra stars or something, I don't know. They're gonna have to find some way to get extra stars with shit. They want to get 9 stars with 5 cards. They're gonna have to do something extra, bet something more, increase the ante.
They would have to win literally every match to get them just the normal way.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see where exactly they go with this, because the reason why he went with the guy who has 2 stars and no cards makes me think that was for like a plan, but I don't know.
Well, theoretically, the only reason they would want to have someone with 2 stars is they can that way have a bit of give. So there is a chance for them to lose without one of them just completely dropping out.
Yeah, so they could bet a star and not. Okay, yeah, I see. That makes sense. Like, I like the way this is constructed. And I like how you are making this the most tense bout of rock, paper, scissors in pretty much anything I've seen.
Yep, even the Hunter x Hunter one wasn't quite this tense.
Yeah, I was about to mention Hunter x Hunter. I was like, yeah, even Hunter x Hunter or rock, paper, scissors are literal fighting moves.
I forgot about that bit, but I was more talking about the prison scene in the exam arc where they do like a rock paper. I'll play rock paper scissors with you, and it's a psychologist who's doing it and basically screws with them throughout the entire game, and is just wasting time. But that was the only like metric for this is so tense because they're running out of time. That was it. So
this is like no, you're because it's restricted. It's so much more interesting. And I'm really liking where this is going, because the thing you want to achieve in a gambling anime of all things is you want the stakes to be real. And you want there to be that tension, because if he does lose, like, I feel like the anime would continue if he lost. That's what I feel like they would do like a time skip or another arc. So he's trying to avoid giving any spoilers, but
that's not really important.
But like, because it's this type of anime, just the feel I get from it is if he lost, it would still continue, and he'd come back as a cooler, better guy, or even like have a more purpose for his character. Because if he wins here, the question always becomes, what debt or something does he get saddled with, where he has to keep gambling?
Here's the thing. And it's actually a message that the show does eventually get to, though not immediately. You don't need to be in debt to be gambling. You don't need to be desperate. Just
But this
think it's
guy
a
has
quick fix.
But this guy as a character, I don't think he'd gamble after this willingly for a while at least. Not at like high stakes or anything. But if he just wins and everything goes fine, so stuff's gonna happen. I'm guessing, and it's tense. I am really liking this show. The music is still very good. The Zawazawas they help build the atmosphere.
It's weird, right? I don't know how you would land on that particular sound effect to build tension. Like, even in Japanese, it's just a nonsense word. It doesn't mean anything, but it works for building tension somehow. I don't know how that works.
I have a soft spot for psychological anime as a whole, and so watching this, I really like it because it's hard to say I have zero interest in this because like it is a psychological anime that's kind of one of my favorite genres to go into.
But in fairness, I talked about this show like 2 years ago and you never watched it, so I stand by it.
To be fair, I don't remember it, and I don't remember you telling me about it because my memory is trash. If you had just said it's a good psychological show about lying to me like a month or two ago, I probably would have watched it.
Oh well.
But yeah.
Oh no! You have to watch a show you like for zero interest. What a shame.
I know, it's surprising. Like, I mean, RWBY, I kind of like the first 2 seasons were kind of a bit tough to get through, but like I ended up liking that, minus some things. But Konosuba, you ended up like thinking it was kind of okay.
It was largely ambivalent of the whole series.
Yeah, but I get the feeling it really wasn't your type of genre, anyways. And this is kind of my genre in terms of things that I like. Very character focused, very psychological. Like freaking, I like the Danganronpa games because they're so psychological and great. Do a lot of thinking to figure out who's lying, who's telling the truth. So, yeah, good. If I were to give this a score based on what I've seen so far.
Okay.
Based on what I've seen so far. Yeah, it's too early, but it's going to be high.
Oh, but we both have the beards for thinking now. It's great.
Yeah. We should just have that be... You know what? You were thinking about the whole... We should get like an image for the whole writing thing show we were going to do on the side. Maybe just a picture of us just going like... just like an artist representation of like... Just... There we go.
Anyway, so that was Zero Interest. Kaiji, episode 2. Great show, still.
Yeah.
Very good show. Still probably one of my favorites. So thanks for watching. We'll be back with the next episode on Monday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.